Bruce Lee sips heel slips. A fighter slams into him. Balance almost gone. A timer beeps. 7 seconds, someone shouts. The crowd recoils, forming a ring as the angry fighter grabs Bruce's sleeve, trying to force him into a humiliating brawl in front of everyone. Then Bruce senses movement behind him. Another man closing in, blocking his escape while all eyes stay on the first attacker. The students expect Bruce to explode first, to prove himself the way fighters always do under pressure. Instead, Bruce lowers his hands, steps forward, and moves deeper into both men's space. Wait, why would he choose the trap instead of freedom? Bruce Lee's heel slips again as the fighter drives forward, chest crashing into him, trying to force him backward across the mat in front of 200 watching students. A timer beeps somewhere in the crowd. 7 seconds. Bruce's shoulder twists as he absorbs the pressure, nearly colliding with a line of students scrambling to clear space. Someone stumbles. A bag drops. Gasps ripple through the room. From the audience's view, it looks wrong. This was supposed to be a demonstration, not a fight. The angry fighter keeps pushing, forearm grinding into Bruce's chest, trying to pin him upright and make resistance look like panic. Bruce exhales once, slow, measured. His hands stay low. No defensive pose, no anger, just observation. He feels the man's weight pressing too far forward, aggression without balance, opportunity hidden inside force. But before Bruce can shift position, movement flickers behind him. A second man steps closer, quietly, blocking retreat. Students in the back row notice first. Whispers spread. Bruce is boxed in. Pressure from the front. Obstacle behind. 7 seconds suddenly feels short. The challenger jerks Bruce's sleeve, trying to drag him into a wild exchange in front of the watching crowd. Someone shouts for security. Too late. Bruce Sepp's foot skids again. For half a second, his balance breaks. From the audience view, it looks like he might fall. A sharp intake of breath fills the hall. The challenger senses it, pushes harder. Certain victory is close. Bruce Sepp's palm touches the man Sepp's forearm. Light, not resisting, feeling direction. Timing. Silence spreads strangely fast. Bruce straightens. Just enough. Not fighting force. Redirecting it. The challenger blinks, confused why the pressure suddenly feels different. Why resistance vanished. Why his own momentum feels heavy. Bruce steps forward. Not away. Forward. Closing space. Changing angles. Now both attackers must react instead of attack. The timer voice shouts again. 3 seconds. The crowd leans in. Something is about to happen, and no one is ready for it. The pressure breaks for a moment as security wedges into the edge of the crowd, forcing people backward and creating a thin strip of breathing room around the mat. Bruce steps away calmly, not triumphant, not angry, just composed. The angry fighter shakes out his arms, chest rising fast, eyes burning as whispers ripple through the students watching. From the audience view, confusion spreads. Why would someone storm a demonstration? Why risk humiliation in front of this many witnesses? The challenger wipes sweat from his mouth and points at Bruce. You make everything we teach look useless. His voice carries, not shouting, but shaking. The room quiets. 200 people listening now. Not to Bruce, to him. I built my school teaching discipline, respect, tradition. He gestures at Bruce. Then my students come here and say, forms don't sit work. That speed matters more. Several students shift uncomfortably. Some recognize the complaint. Bruce says nothing, just watches. Listening fully, the challenger steps closer, frustration spilling out now that attention is his. 3 of my best students left last month. Said real fighting isn't set what we teach anymore. A murmur moves through the crowd. Now it makes sense. This is not random anger. This is fear. Fear of becoming irrelevant. Fear of losing everything built over decades. From the back row, someone whispers. He sits, not wrong. Bruce finally speaks. Quiet, measured. No art becomes weaker by learning. Silence follows, but the challenger shakes his head violently. You don't understand. You change things too fast. People forget where they come from. His pride is cracking under pressure. Not hatred, desperation. Bruce steps closer, voice still calm. I never tell anyone to abandon tradition, only to test it honestly. The challenger laughs bitterly. In front of everyone, his eyes sweep the audience. No one looks away. Students still watching. This ends now. He lifts his wrist, resets the timer. If your way works, prove it. The crowd leans forward again. The test is not over. It is only beginning. The crowd tightens again as the challenger steps back onto the mat, raising his wrist where the timer still flashes, resetting the countdown while students shift anxiously around the edges. Across the room, people lean closer. Everyone senses this moment. Will spread beyond this room. The challenger points at Bruce again. No excuses now. His voice carries across the hall. 7 seconds. You show everyone your way works. A pause. Or admit you are wrong. Whispers ripple through the students. Some nod. Others fold their arms defensively. Bruce stands relaxed, chest rising slowly, sweat glistening across his shoulders after hours of teaching. No fighting stance, no intimidation, just attention. He glances once around the hall, students he has trained, visitors judging quietly, teachers hoping to see him fail, all watching. Bruce nods once. Start when you are ready. The calm answer unsettles the challenger more than trash talk would have. From the audience perspective, it feels backwards. The man being threatened looks least concerned. The challenger circles slowly now, measuring distance, trying to force Bruce into reacting first. He wants Bruce aggressive, predictable. Bruce remains still, hands low, eyes focused on hips, shoulders, breathing. Not the fists. Someone in the crowd whispers, "Move, Sifu." Bruce does not move. The challenger lunges suddenly, testing distance with a fast shove meant to knock Bruce backward again. Bruce pivots half a step. Minimal effort. The shove meets empty space. A few students gasp. The challenger recovers quickly, pretending it was intentional, but his jaw tightens. He expected panic. Instead, Bruce remains calm, still measuring, still waiting. The timer voice calls again. 6 seconds. Pressure builds instantly. The challenger realizes time favors Bruce. He must force contact. Now, he surges forward again, both hands reaching to grab and dominate position. And this time, Bruce allows contact. The crowd leans forward, because now there is no space left, and the test truly begins. The challenger crashes forward again, both hands locking onto Bruce's shoulders, driving with everything he has as the mat space shrinks under the pressure of bodies pushing closer. From the audience view, it suddenly feels messy, not controlled, not respectful. People are pressing too close, trying to record. Security shouting for everyone to move back as the circle tightens dangerously. Bruce shifts his footing, trying to keep balance without striking, but someone from the edge stumbles forward, bumping into the challenger's back. The formation breaks. Chaos replaces structure. And then the second man moves. The partner who had been circling behind Bruce steps in, grabbing Bruce's arm from the rear, trying to freeze him in place. A collective gasp rolls across the room. This was not part of the test. Students begin shouting, "Hey, that's Sep's 2-on-1. Security struggles to push through the crowd, but the pressure of bodies blocks them. From Bruce's perspective, space vanishes. One man pushing, one man pulling, movement restricted, angles gone. The challenger grins, sensing advantage. "This is real fighting," he shouts. Bruce Sep's jaw tightens slightly. Not anger, calculation. He feels both grips, front pressure too committed, rear grip too high. Neither attacker expecting resistance without violence, but before Bruce can shift, the challenger drives a knee forward, aiming to knock Bruce off balance. For a split second, Bruce Sep's stance collapses. His heel slips, weight tipping backward. From the crowd Sep's view, it looks finished. Several students shout his name. The challenger sees it too. Victory close. He presses harder. The partner tightens his grip, locking Bruce's arm. Bruce exhales sharply, pressure compressing his ribs, vision narrowing, and the timer voice cuts through again. 3 seconds. The challenger laughs breathlessly. Done. But Bruce's eyes change, not panicked, focused. Something small shifts in his stance, tiny, almost invisible. Yet suddenly both attackers feel it. The pressure they were applying no longer meets resistance. Their own momentum begins pulling them off balance, and neither realizes the mistake yet, because the rules they plan to exploit are already gone. Bruce's back bends under the combined pressure as both men drive forward, and for the first time since the chaos began, his footing truly disappears beneath him. From the audience's view, it looks finished. His heel lifts, his balance breaks. The challenger shoves hard, forcing Bruce backward as the partner locks his arm tighter, preventing escape. Students shout warnings. Some stand up instinctively. Someone near the edge covers their mouth. This is no longer demonstration. This is humiliation unfolding live. Bruce's shoulder slams against the padded wall surrounding the mat. Impact echoes. The challenger grins, breathing heavily now. You said your way works. His voice shakes with adrenaline. Show them. Bruce tries to turn, but the partner's grip traps his arm awkwardly behind him, forcing his chest open. A dangerous angle. From the crowd's SIP's view, Bruce looks stuck, completely controlled. Someone mutters, "He can set, get out." People lean in closer. Students exchange worried glances. The challenger presses his forearm into Bruce's throat. Not enough to injure, but enough to display dominance. Bruce SIP's breathing shortens. Vision blurs slightly from pressure. For one suspended second, doubt ripples through the room. Can he actually lose here? The challenger leans closer. 7 seconds, he whispers. Over. Bruce SIP's foot slides again. Pain flashes across his ribs. The partner tightens the hold. Confident victory is sealed. But inside the pressure, Bruce feels something shift. The challenger SIP's weight, too far forward. Feet planted heavily. Committed. Bruce stops resisting entirely. Silence. No struggle. No panic. The sudden absence of resistance confuses both attackers. Their own force now has nothing to push against. Their bodies begin collapsing inward. Bruce exhales slowly. His free hand slides lightly along the challenger's wrist. Not striking, not grabbing, redirecting. A small turn of his hips follows. The partner SIP's grip loosens, just slightly. Enough. The challenger stumbles forward unexpectedly, nearly colliding into Bruce instead of pinning him. From the audience view, confusion spreads. What just happened? The timer voice shouts again. 2 seconds. And suddenly, Bruce is no longer trapped. Both attackers are off balance. And neither understands how control slipped away. Not yet. The challenger stumbles forward, momentum carrying him past Bruce, as the sudden loss of resistance pulls his own balance apart in front of the crowd. From the audience view, the shift feels unreal. 1 second Bruce was trapped. Now space opens. Bruce turns sideways, shoulders sliding free as the partner behind him loses grip, fingers clutching empty air. Silence spreads. No strike thrown. No explosion. Just precision. Bruce steps lightly to the challenger's blind side. 2 fingers tap the man SIP's ribs. Light. Controlled. But every trained eye in the room understands. That touch could have ended the fight. The challenger spins, confused, trying to recover position, but Bruce is already moving. Not fast, just ahead of expectation. A palm brushes the challenger SIP's shoulder. Another opening revealed. From the crowd's perspective, Bruce seems untouchable without appearing aggressive. The partner lunges again, desperate to help, but Bruce pivots. The partner's own momentum sends him stumbling past. Bruce's hand rests briefly at the side of his neck. Another clear finish. No damage, just proof. Whispers ripple through the room. How is he doing that? The challenger swings wildly now, frustration overtaking technique, but Bruce slips inside the motion. A finger lands softly against the challenger's chest. Right over the heart, the message unmistakable. The timer voice cracks. Time. 7 seconds gone. Yet Bruce moves once more. Not attacking, just demonstrating. He steps back, giving both men room to stand. From the audience view, realization dawns slowly. Bruce never tried to overpower them. He controlled space, timing, balance. The challenger stares, chest heaving, sweat pouring down his face, as understanding begins to crush his earlier confidence. Bruce lowers his hands calmly. Fight finished. Lesson delivered. Without humiliation, without injury, but in front of everyone. And the silence that follows weighs heavier than any applause, because everyone in the room now knows exactly what they just witnessed. Control, not violence, and pride collapsing under truth. For several seconds, no one speaks. From the audience's view, the silence feels heavier than the shouting that filled the room moments ago. Breathing slowly returns. Whispers die mid-sentence. Even security stops moving. The challenger stands frozen in front of Bruce, chest rising and falling, sweat dripping from his chin onto the mat. His partner backs away first, eyes down. wanting distance from what just happened. But the challenger cannot move. Not yet. A moment ago, he controlled everything. Now 200 witnesses have seen every opening Bruce revealed without hurting him, seen how easily the situation could have ended differently. A woman near the front turns away, shaking her head. Someone mutters, "It steps over." The words spread quietly. Not cruel, just factual. Bruce does nothing. No victory pose, no lecture. He simply waits, giving the man space to recover dignity. The challenger swallows hard, eyes scanning the crowd that came expecting Bruce to fail. Instead, they stare at him, not with anger, with pity. His shoulders sag slightly, confidence draining, frustration gone. Only exhaustion remains. He looks back at Bruce. For a second, pride fights to survive. Then something breaks. He bows, not formal, not perfect, just honest. "I was wrong." His voice barely carries, but everyone hears. Bruce steps closer, speaking quietly, so only those nearby catch the words. No one loses by learning. The challenger nods weakly, humility replacing anger. From the audience's view, the shift is clear. This is no longer rivalry. It is realization. Students who doubted Bruce exchange glances. Some smile, others look thoughtful. The humiliation the challenger hoped to deliver has turned inward. Yet Bruce refuses to press the advantage. He simply gestures toward the edge of the mat, an invitation, not a dismissal, and the crowd finally exhales together, because the fight ended without cruelty. But the lesson landed harder than violence ever could. The crowd does not erupt. There is no cheering. From the audience's view, people simply begin breathing again, as if the entire hall had been holding air in their lungs for the last 7 seconds. Bruce steps off the mat slowly, calm, unhurried, as if nothing extraordinary happened. Students move aside to give him space, but their expressions have changed. Not excitement, respect, a deeper one. Behind him, the challenger remains standing alone, staring at the floor where moments earlier he believed victory was certain. His partner quietly leaves the mat area, slipping through the crowd without meeting anyone's eyes. No one stops him. The challenger finally walks toward Bruce, steps slower now, measured. He stops a few feet away. From the audience's perspective, everyone watches again, expecting one final confrontation. Instead, the challenger speaks quietly. "When my students left, I thought you were stealing them." Bruce looks at him calmly, says nothing. The man continues, "I thought you were disrespecting everything I built." His voice cracks slightly, "But they didn't leave because of you." Silence. "They left because I stopped learning." The admission spreads through the crowd like a ripple. Some older instructors in the audience shift uncomfortably, because they understand the truth in it. Bruce folds his arms loosely, still not judging, still not claiming victory, just listening. The challenger bows again, this time deeper, more certain. "I don't want to fight anymore." He glances around the hall, at students who witnessed his defeat, at teachers who expected Bruce to be exposed. Then back to Bruce. "I want to understand." Bruce studies him for a moment, then gestures toward the mat. "Class isn't set and finished." A small smile flickers through nearby students. Space opens again. This time willingly, the challenger removes his shoes and steps onto the mat again. Not as an opponent, as a student. From the audience's view, the shift feels larger than the fight itself. Eyes finally blink. People begin whispering again, but now the tone has changed. Excitement replaced by reflection. Bruce resumes instruction calmly, demonstrating angles, distance, timing. No mention of what just happened. No speech, just teaching. And slowly, students settle back into position. Training resumes. The challenger follows instructions quietly. Movements stiff at first, pride still dissolving, but he listens, adjusts, learns. From the back of the hall, someone watching murmurs, "That's Sep's real strength." Minutes later, the crowd begins dispersing. Conversations spark everywhere. Some visitors leave thoughtful, others unsettled. A few rival instructors walk out silently, reconsidering what they teach. One young student, who had arrived skeptical, signs up for training before leaving. Outside, evening light fades over the parking lot as students discuss what they witnessed. Not a knockout, not a violent victory, something rarer, control. Inside the hall, Bruce wipes sweat from his neck with a towel as students roll mats away. The challenger approaches again, quieter now, "Thank you," he says. Bruce nods. "No one owns truth," he replies softly. "We share it." The man leaves without another word. But his posture is different, less rigid, more open. From the doorway, one student looks back at Bruce still helping beginners pack equipment. No celebration, no pride, just work. And the lesson spreads further than the room. In the weeks that follow, the challenger changes his school's training, less ritual, more testing. Some students return, others arrive curious. Stories travel, not about a humiliating defeat, but about a teacher who proves superiority without cruelty, and about another teacher strong enough to change. Years later, some who stood in that crowd will still remember the moment silence fell. Not because Bruce Lee defeated someone, but because he didn't need to. And in that quiet restraint, something shifted. Not just in one school, but in how many people understood what real mastery looked like. No shouting, no violence, just truth revealed. In 7 seconds, and the calm that followed,